I made the mistake of searching the dark web one time. I saw on Reddit some people are talking about this thing called Tor that allows you to search the dark web. And it was basically post asking for strangest things people have come across on the dark web. It intrigued me some of the things people have found. So I went along and downloaded Tor. Someone on Reddit posted a link to basically a hidden wiki with a bunch of useful links on the dark web. I was shocked at how many illegal sexual links there were. I did my best to steer clear of anything like that. I did come across a link that took me to another page with a bunch of links called the Black Pages. The page was black with a bunch of red and yellow links. The red pages seemed to be the strangest. There was one link called Personal Assassin and another called Dead Pets. Reading some of those links, I realized how messed up this whole dark web thing really was. I clicked on a yellow link and ended up on yet another page full of links. There I found something that seemed interesting. It was called the Secret Society Chat. I clicked on the link and it took even longer than all the other pages took to load. I'd say I stared at a blank white screen for a good minute before the page finally turned black and the chat box popped up. Next to the chat box was a black video screen. I wish I'd just clicked the bad button at that point, but instead I typed in the chat box, "Hey." What happened next was weird. Someone wearing a black mask in the dark room popped up on the screen. I felt like my heart stopped when I saw my face pop up on the screen as well. The website was using my webcam even though I naturally keep it off. I covered it with my thumb and tried to close this page, but at this point the taskbar was gone along with the minimize and exit buttons at the top of the door window. I tried hitting the Ctrl-Alt-Delete but it did nothing, and then there was a muffled, distorted voice coming from my speakers. I could only assume it was the guy in the mask speaking. He was masking his voice with some kind of voice changer. I clearly remembered he said,
Mr. C. James.
My heart sank. He said my name. I began holding the power button on my laptop and it felt like an eternity before it finally cut power. I didn't know if I should report what happened to the police, but from what I knew, everything was anonymous with Tor. So it didn't even seem worth it. It was obviously a low-life hacker. I went on with my life after deleting the Tor browser from my computer, but 2 weeks later my mom threw a letter in my room. She told me it came in the mail for me. There was no return address on it. I ripped the letter open and unfolded the paper tucked inside. In huge letters that filled the paper were 3 words, "Don't come back." I felt like I was gonna throw up from the sickening feeling it gave me. I crumpled the paper and threw it away. I didn't call the cops as it seemed pointless, and I didn't even tell my mom because it would only cause her to panic. But I have no idea how or why they got my address. My worst experience on Tor was stumbling upon a horrific, sickening page called Human Experiments. I don't remember where exactly I found it. It was buried deep somewhere in a link archive page. The homepage described the content on the site. I was distraught at what I was reading. It said in a red, bloody font, "The experiments conducted on this website are to prove that not all humans are born equal." The people chosen to be experimented on were usually homeless, but also the unfortunate soul that happened to get caught by these sick bastards. These so-called experiments ranged from starvation and water restriction reactions to extreme pain, torture, infections and diseases, and even infant tolerances to X-rays, pain and heat. I had seen all those horrific shock videos like 3 guys, 1 hammer, so I thought I would be prepared for what I was going to see, but I wasn't. I made the mistake of clicking on the first link to the experiment photos. I honestly had to retain the urge to puke. I don't even want to give a description of what I saw, but I'll just say that there were innocent victims, people just like you and I, going through horrible things that nobody should ever go through. Against my better judgment, I scrolled the entire page and it only got worse pretty soon. A whole section dedicated to infants and toddlers came up. I somehow made it to the bottom of the page and then a little box popped up on the screen. I didn't know what it was until a line of text popped up. The text said,
Did you enjoy the sight?
I realized this was a chat box. I typed, "Who is this?" A stranger promptly replied, evading my question by asking,
What was your favorite part of the website?
I asked the same question again. This time he actually acknowledged my question and he told me he was the site owner. I told him that this was sick and inhumane and that I would report this site immediately. That was my biggest mistake telling him that. Because after a short pause, he finally said,
I see your name is Michael and you live in Massachusetts.
he was right. But instead of clicking out of the browser right away, I typed in, "No, you're wrong." About 10 seconds later, he typed something that made my heart feel like it shriveled up. And that was my address, my complete correct home address. His final words were,
Have a nice day.
I closed the browser and slammed in my laptop shut. I called the police first thing, before even telling my parents. When the cops got to our house, I explained everything to everyone at once. They wanted to see my computer, but I didn't remember the link to the website. Unfortunately, the Tor browser doesn't save your browsing history, so I couldn't even help them in shutting this website. The cops told us that if what I said was true, then we should find another place to stay as soon as possible. Thankfully, this was around the time that we were looking to move away anyway. I couldn't believe how fast my parents were able to sell the house and find another. I apologized to them every day for a month after this happened. I hated to have to make them go through this. All I like to think that this guy in chat was just bluffing, but I couldn't take the chance. I don't think anybody should ever look into the dark web as there is no good to come of it.